Hello everyone and welcome back to Clark Sports Cards. As everybody is probably aware, PSA has now announced a vintage grading for $15 this month for February. I've gathered together, I think he's got to have 10 cards. I think I got like 15 or 16 here. And I still got to look from other King Griffey 89 upper deck that I'm probably going to send in as well. It's probably over there in the box somewhere. Haven't grabbed it quite yet, but we're going to go through these that I'm going to actually send into PSA and see what they come back as. So I want to take them off camera and introduce them one by one, and I want to predict what I think they'll grade as, what their percentage is as far as what they would grade at, and what the return would be and stuff like that on it if they graded what I expect them to grade. So let's take them off camera, with the first one being, of course, what you just seen, the King Griffey Jr. 89 Fleer. Very iconic card. Actually think that these sold a little bit better than the Donruss. Of course, the upper deck just blows these out of the water and stuff like that, but probably the traded edition would be a little bit more valuable. But Fleer, I think, outranks Donruss just about a little bit as far as the desirability. So what I did with this one, I looked over it. As you can see, the skinnering is pretty good on this card all the way through. There is one spot, as you can see, right there next to the emblem on it. I'll kind of pick out some of the stuff, and that's about it. The centering is good on it and everything like that. I'm predicting this to get to probably a PSA 9, and I think it's going to be due to that because the corners are real sharp and everything on it. The back is pretty good as well. I think it's got an outside chance of getting a 10 depending on how they grade that spot right there. As you can see, it's right there. If they consider that significant, it'll probably go to a 9. If they don't, it'll be a 10. But if it grades a 9, that's what I look at. I try to fill out what it would be if it's cost effective to send it in. It's $15, like I said, to send them in, plus, of course, shipping and stuff like that. But if it grades a PSA 9, it'll be a $25 card. So is it worth it? There's a little bit of profit in there, right? And then, like I said, if it grades a 10, I didn't look at the price. I just look at what I thought it would be. I'm sure it's a lot more than that, probably in the $50 to $60 range or something like that. But if it grades a 9, it should be around a $25 card. So that's one that I did send in. I'm going to send in. So, and I'll put little notes, as you can see, right there on it, centering good spot next to the emblem. All right, so we'll get to the next card. This one, kind of a little bit different, a little vintage. It was hard for me. I don't collect a lot of vintage. Normally I'll buy vintage already slabbed if I want it. But every now and then I'll run across a card that, like in a $4 or $5 box or $10 box, that I like. You know, that's a pretty cool card. Kind of like it, you know. Condition is always, of course, a key. This one right here has, you can see that top corner. Pretty obvious right there. That corner's got a little soft to it. The centering, of course, is not perfect as well. The bottom corner has got a little roundage to it, but there's no creases. And, of course, there's a little white on that corner as well. A little off-centered as well. There is a dot right there. So, in the comment, what would you grade this thing as, right? It's, see that? A little off-center in the back a little bit, but the back looks better as far as, doesn't show in the gray as bad. A couple dots down here at the bottom in the card, as you can see right there, but the back doesn't mean as much as the front. Presents pretty good well. There's a spot right there, if I didn't mention it before. I foresee this to be graded as at least a PSA 3. If it grades a 3, it's a $60 card. So, hey, send it in. See what happens. Just doesn't seem like it's a 2, right? There's no creases, there's no bends, there's no cuts. So I think it'll get at least a 3. If it's a 3, it'll be a $60 card. So we're going to send that one in. All right. And that's got, like I said, that had Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, Jim, and Harmon Killebrew. All right, so the next one, a little shout out to Gourmet. I got this off of Gourmet. This is one that we got out of like a little break or something like that. The top is a little thin, just a little bit up top, and you can see it might be a little bit crooked. The right side is thinner than the left, possibly, maybe. Corners look very good. It does present its card very well. There's a spot next to his face, as you can probably see, like right there. A couple like tiny bubbles right there. I don't know what it is, but it's in the surface of the card. You might be able to see it better at an angle, something like that right there. But still presents it pretty good. The back, nice as well. little centering, but as you know with these cards, these things are real bad for centering, and this is a pretty well centered card for this year. Um, the back has got a little bit of coloring issues. I think that was somewhere, um, yeah, like right over here. You can kind of see on the black a little bit how the coloring issues was on the back, and up at the top a little bit right there. So I thought this would grade a PSA 8. If it grades a PSA 8, it'll be a $300 card, so it's definitely worth sending in. If it grades a 9, I figure it's about a 20% chance of grading a 9 and probably a 0% chance of grading a 10. 10s are very expensive for this, but I'd say probably an 8 at about a $300 card. Do you agree or disagree? So, nice looking card, presents well, colors very vibrant on it as well. So, nice little card. So we're going to get that one graded. The next one of my favorite, and I got two of these, basketball stars, David Robinson, the Admiral. Love the Admiral. His cards are not very valuable for some reason, and I just love David Robinson. He's got, I think he's 2 or 3 championships, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I foresee this card to grade a PSA 8 or a 9. If it grades an 8, it'll be a $20 card, which I'm just about break even. If it grades a 9, it's a $30 card. But I says a 50-50 shot either way. But this card is not about really money as much as like a PC card, right? So there's a dot on the left side. You can see right there, a little dot in the card. Still little centering issues, like I said, left to right. So top to bottom looks to be pretty good. Maybe a little thin on the bottom, not much, but the centering left to right is, of course, overshadowing stuff. I don't think that that's going to play much of a factor, but I think it's a 50-50 if we get an 8 or 9. Probably going to be more towards the 8, right? But the back is a pretty good clean card on the back. And it won't focus, but there you go. There it goes. So, but pretty well centered on the back. So, yep, that's it. That's one of David Robinson. Another one I got, same thing. Thought it was going to be an 8 or 9. It's centered a little bit better, as you can see, left to right and top to bottom. Seems like it's centered a little bit better. I think it's got a 70% chance of getting a 9 and a 20% chance of getting an 8. So I think this is a little bit better card on it. No issues as far as with surface or anything like that on this one. It's mainly just a tad bit on the centering, left to right and top to bottom. If it is, it ain't much. And I think it could be in the 60-40 range. I think it's got a 10% chance of getting a 10. I said 70 on a 9, 20 on an 8, and a 10% on a 10. So slim chance, but that's just me. And I'll have a follow-up video once I get these back from PSA, and we'll determine what all they graded on, because I'm keeping all the notes, as you can see right there, what I think it would grade on, and I'll keep it to the side. But a little bit better David Robinson there. Sometimes by sending in 2 cards like that, it will increase your chance, right? They'll say like one's an 8 and one's a 9, or one's a 9, one's a 10, something like that. So next card's Ted Williams. All right, 58 Ted Williams Selection All-Star. Not in real great condition. As you can see, the main issues with this, a little bit of centering, which it's almost like centering is not as bad an issue. Of course, they are grading wise, but in older cards, they don't hound them as bad like they do newer cards. But you can see we got some discoloration up there at the top, almost like it bled through to the white a little bit, almost like it smeared, right, when they printed the card. Some of these dots and stuff like that is just dust and stuff like that on the card. But no, I mean, of course, the corners, you know, a little rounded up there, a little round up there, a little of that right there, a little fur on that one down there. But the back, you can kind of see the same thing with the corners. So up there at the top and down at the bottom. So it's not in perfect condition, but I think it's a 50-50 shot of getting a 3 or 4. That's my guess, a 3 or 4. I think this is going to downplay it a little bit right here. It's a 3, it's about a $75 card. If it's a 4, it's a $115 card. So I think it's still worth sending it in. So I'm going to send in this nice one right here, Ted Williams. Nice, good looking card. All right, next card is my dad's favorite player, and one growing up that I really liked as well, and that's good old Wade Boggs. 83 Topps, Wade Boggs. I feel it's got a 70% chance of getting a 9, and a 20% chance of getting an 8, and a 10% chance of getting a 10. Pretty well centered, you know. Might be off just by a smidge, left to right, all right, top to bottom. Not too bad. It's almost like the picture shifted down like that a little bit on it. Surface is pretty good, pretty clean, corners crisp all the way around. back's not too bad at all neither. A little left to, top to bottom issues, but left to right looks good on the back. But you can see how sharp these corners are. Pretty sharp. I mean, if there's a little bit of fuzz on them, it could be, you know what I mean? But they're not rounded. Still got the sharp corner look to it. There is a small dot right there, I think. Well, nope, I come off. Sorry about that. That was a dust, so I just happened to see that. But no real print imperfections on the card, which is pretty good for that year, make, and model, right? So, like I said, if it gets a PSA 9, which is the highest percentage I got at 70%, it'll be a $100 card. So, hoping for that. Hoping we get a 9 out of this bad boy to add to the collection of good old Chicken Man Wade Boggs. Next card, the iconic card. Everybody's seen it. Billy Ripken with that right there on it. This card, a little top to bottom issue. As you can see, it looks like it's a little thin on top. Left to right looks real good though. Coloring is good on it. Imperfection wise, don't see much at all as far as imperfections. That's on the the sleeve right there. That's not on the card. The back of it, as you can see, it looks like it's a little thin on top, almost like the card is shifted down like that, right? Because it's a little bit thicker here and a little thinner over here. It's like a shift going on. Same way over here on the front a little bit. So we're thinking this is going to be a PSA 9 due to centering, with a 20% chance of being an 8 and a 10% chance of being a 10, which kind of doubt that. So mainly we're looking at a 70% chance of being a PSA 9. If it comes back a 9, then it's a $140 card. So that's what we're hoping for. So have not had one graded yet with that obscenity on it. So looking to add that to the PC, right? The iconic Billy Ripken card. All right, let's see if I got any more. Nope, that's it. The rest of it is football. So we'll get into football a little bit. Nice card here I picked up. I got this out of a $10 box. Tony Dorsett rookie card. Pretty good little card, little corner issues, some on the surface, but mainly on the centering, as you can see, left and right, which is, you know, older cards have that problem. But I mean, look at these corners, right? For this year card, and the back a little bit. I mean, for a 78 card, you see a little bit of green up there at the top, right? Same thing over here. It shows it on the green, so I imagine it'll be pretty hard to get a 10 on these because of the green border on the back. See a little white on both sides, so I figured this would get about a 60% chance of getting an 8, 10% chance of getting a 9, a 30% chance of getting a 7. If it's a 8, which I foresee it being, probably going to end up being a 7, but I really think, looking over the card, I think it will get it just due to how clean it is, how vibrant. And the centering is the main issue, right? The corners look to be pretty good except for on the back, which doesn't play a lot of factors in it. Just a little bit of whitening on the corners. If it gets an 8, you're looking at $180 to a $150 card. So, of course, a little bit lower than that, probably about a $100 card if it's a 7, but still worth grading, right? Tony Dorsett rookie card, one of the iconic players back in the day. Nice running back. All right. I think this one speaks for itself. That's my name. That growing up, I wasn't named after him, of course, but growing up, this is what led me into football. Dwight Clark, the catch man for the 49ers. This is what developed me into a 49ers fan, with Joe Montana back in the day, Steve Young, Terrell Owens, Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott, all those players I really loved back in the day. Jeff Garcia, actually, too. But yeah, one of the iconic players, Dwight Clark. Didn't even realize this when I started looking at comps, but I thought this has got a good shot at a PSA 9. The centering is the issue mainly with this card. A little surface at the top, there's on the back. So, pretty good centering on the back. It's not too bad, which are a little bit more lenient on the back, but of course you can see it's off in the front a little bit. But this is a 1981 card, so not his rookie. This is actually, I think, I thought it was his rookie card. I could be wrong, but I thought this was his rookie. But I see 2 stats of 2 years. But either way, if it grabs a PSA 9, it's an $80 card. If it grabs a 8, it's a $30 card. So 8 or 9, I still make my money back, right? And this is a card I keep in the PC because it's my name, it's my guy, checklist, the catch man, right, back in the day. All right. Can't follow up with a Dwight Clark without a Joe Montana. Now, I know this is not his rookie. This is a 83 card. This is his his 4th year card right here. But still nice presented Joe Montana. Centering is pretty good on this card. The top of the corner, got a little fur up there, as you can see, just a little bit. Right at the edge, you can see a dot right there. You see it, the red dot on the corner, and a little bit centers and a little bit on the edge wear a little bit. So I'm hoping this though comes back a nice grade. If it comes back an 8, you see right there at the top left corner, a little bit of whiting up there at that one as well. Bottom looks pretty sharp though. Look how sharp those bottoms are. If it comes back an 8, it's a $25 card. And this is a card I think will always go up in value, right? You know, little by little, it'll always go up. So why not grade it? If it's a PSA 8, it's a $25 card now. I said 55% chance at an 8, 10% chance at a 9, and a 35% chance at a 7. So we went with the 8 grading, and it was about a $25 card. So still a nice little card though, nonetheless. One of my key players growing up watching, Joe Montana. Now I know this is his rookie. Joe Montana. This card was actually gifted to me by a guy that passed away, one of my best friends of all time growing up. And so I wanted to get it graded, just now getting around to it to grade it. But I'll never trade this card. This card I'll always keep because he's gone, passed away, and it's he collected like I do back in the day. Like this was probably 20 years ago. He gave me this card. I think he gave it to me when I got married my wife as a present. But the only card he's ever given away, and he passed away probably about 5 years after that from a brain tumor. So special card right here, right? 86, I think it is. Is that right? 86? Yes, 86. Steve Young, rookie card. So nice card. Presents it pretty good. Corners a little, centering a little. As you can see, left to right, right there, top to bottom, maybe a little bit, but you can see the corners up there. Boom, and boom, and then down to bottom. Boom. And right there, and of course the back. The yellow doesn't show it as bad. It does show it though. It's probably one of the most forgiving colors other than white to show edge wear. Not as bad, but I figured this has got a 50% chance of getting a 9. Probably won't. Probably an 8, which is a 40% chance. I've graded it as, and a 10% chance at a 7. Don't think it's going to grade, definitely not a 10. But if it grades a 9, believe it or not, this card is a $1,100 card if it grades a 9. And I said it's a 50% chance of getting that. If it grades an 8, there's a big drop off. It's like $90, or maybe $100, something like that. So it's a big disparity between a 9 and an 8. So probably going to be an 8, but I said a 50% chance of getting a 9 and a 40% chance at an 8. So we'll see on that. But definitely a card that, regardless of the value, that's one I'm going to keep in the PC forever. I run across this one as well, out there collecting in a, I think it was a $10 box as well, $5 or $10 box, I can't remember. But I grade this as a PSA 8 at a 65% chance, a 25% chance at a 7, and a 10% at a 9. So a little centering issues, top surface, a tad on the corners, and a little bit on the surface a little bit. If you can kind of see if I can get it focused in a little bit, but well, it's not working with me. Come on, come on. Anyway, so, but you can see it presents the card pretty well. It's not too bad at all. This is Jim McMahon's rookie card. Pretty, 83 with the Bear Rage and stuff like that, his rookie card. The back's not too bad as well. Pretty good centering. You can see the corners in the back don't show much at all. And they're red borders, right? So, presents pretty good well. So, if it gets an 8, 65% chance. If it gets an 8, PSA 8, it's about a $25 to $40 card. So, that's what we're shooting for. Heck, it, might get busted up to a 9. Who knows? So, we'll see. But, still, nice looking card. Jim McMahon rookie card. This is one of my dad's cards he liked. Picked it up. Johnny Unitas. This is not his rookie card. This is is it 1970? Yeah, 1970 Johnny Unitas. You can see down at the bottom, little whitening there, little whitening there, little whitening there. The top edges, which sometimes they grade that as normal, the edge wear. Sometimes not. This big kicker is right here. It's almost like a lifted edge right there on it. kind of was going to probably deduct it pretty good. Centering is not too bad on it, a little top to bottom, but I graded this probably going to be a 5, with a 80% chance at a 5. Excuse me, a 60% chance at a 5, a 20% chance at a 6, and then a 20% chance at a 4. So 4 to 5 range is probably going to be about accurate. If it grades a 5, it's a $35 card. So nice little Johnny Unitas right there. Cool looking card, right? Iconic. So everybody's heard of him. All right, last card, other than the rookie card of King Griffey Jr. Upper Deck that I'm going to find, which won't be on this video, is Ozzie Newsome. Found this one as well in the bin, and look at the centering on it. It's pretty good. There is a dot at the bottom, as you can see in the black right there. There is a dot in the card. But Ozzie Newsome rookie card. If you remember, he was one of the better tight ends back in the day. Good tough bruiser for the Browns. The back presents good as well. Look at the centering on the back. Little top to bottom issues, but nice little rookie card right there. 1979 Ozzie Newsome rookie card. So if it grades an 8, it's a $50 card. So it's worth it, right? I predict this is going to be an 8 just due to centering and what we talked about there. That's going to be probably one of the dingers right there, probably as well, that dot. But I'm hoping it doesn't bring it down lower than an 8 because it's a pretty well centered card. It's not too bad. So yeah, and that's my PSA submission. Send it off to, we'll see how it comes back. I'll do a follow-up video probably in about a month, something like that. See where it comes back as. I'm hoping I'll get them back about a month, month and a half. And in the meantime, we'll see if we can grab some more cards and send them off. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Y'all keep on ripping. Clark Sports Cards out.